upon you to listen to them. That's what good leadership is all about.
So you are listening to them?
Yes.
What did they tell you?
There are very many challenges at Wakulima Market, over forceful eviction to Kagudo Road after having been there for almost 30 years without adequate public participation. And I think 2 weeks ago, there were attempts to forcibly evict them, and they are quite unhappy. And they wanted some intervention. Again, at Mudurwa Market, they have had challenges over health. There are hazardous challenges in terms of garbage collection, in terms of lack of water, lack of sanitation, and they would want some intervention. Again, at Kekoba Market, there has been challenges about threats to evict them from where they have had their livelihoods for many years. And they wanted me to listen to them and try to see what intervention we can make. Basically, it was a day for me to go and listen to these people because they have been looking for me for a while.
But what will you do? The city has a governor who has explained that they're not necessarily evicting the people from that market. It's only that those that are excess need to move to a different location. What solution will you offer?
Well, the fact that they are looking for me means they are not satisfied. Because if they were satisfied with what they have discussed with the governor, then they do not have to look for me. People do not agitate where there is no cause. So the fact that they wanted me to listen to them means that they have not, their issues have not been addressed to their satisfaction.
That's what I'm asking, because the city is under the leadership of the county government. What will you do as deputy president?
Well, mine is to profile the matter and bring it to their attention because it's important. You see what is happening. Why those people look for me is that when the governor of the city of Nairobi was seeking for votes, I held his hand and I went and talked to those people. And I asked them, because they know me and they trust me, that he'll take care of them. And once they feel that they have not been taken care of, they have come to me. Because I was guarantor to Governor Sakaja that he would take care of them.
What does that mean, guarantor?
Guarantor is like when you go to a bank and you want to take a loan, and you don't have security, somebody else can come and offer his title deed for you. I went because those are people who speak my language and talk to them in my local language, and they wanted an assurance. They say, this Johnson Sakaja, Bwana Gachagua, we don't know him well. Do you know him well? I said, yes. Are you telling us that if we give him our vote, he'll take care of our business interests? I said, yes. Are you giving us that assurance? I said, yes. So I gave that assurance, like all you do when you are campaigning for somebody. And therefore, when probably they have felt that the governor has not treated them well, as a guarantor of Governor Sakaja, they have sought me out and asked me questions, hard questions.
That's what I'm asking. What are you going to do? Because there's separation of powers.
The fact that we are discussing the matter with you here
just hold on, Deputy President. The separation of roles between the national executive and the county executive is quite clear. You cannot supervise a county government, can you?
I am not pretending to supervise the county government. Advocacy is part of governance. The fact that the matter is being discussed here is good enough. It means the matter has gotten the right attention. I've seen the governor has written a big reply. That is good enough because if I had not gone there to listen to them, he would not be replying to that matter. The fact that the matter has been brought to light is good enough. And that is what leadership is all about. Because at my level, I've given it high profile. Everybody knows there is a challenge. The governor knows there is a challenge. It's incumbent upon him now to deal with that challenge. But I have undertaken my rightful role as guarantor to Governor Sakaja to those people by going there and give them an ear and listening to them. And because of the publicity that has gone with the tour, the matter now is under discussion, which is a good beginning point.
Interesting. And of course, we'll get back to that later on. But first, that was not the only issue that you were talking about while in the city. You also said a few things that I want to reference just a little bit. Mimi siwezi kubali mambo ya uongo, ndio kwa maana wananipiga vita. Kama mko na shida na mimi, kujeni munishtaki kwa wananchi. Who are you talking about?
Some you know what is happening, and I had hoped probably before we get into that discussion, we'll discuss matters to do with what I do. And
no, we'll get there. We're just coming from the matters arising from the events that you had in the city today.
What I am saying is that it is everybody's knowledge that I'm a truthful person. And many people are uncomfortable with that truth. When I raised that matter of Wakulima market, I was called all sorts of names, including being called a tribalist. Given the fact that majority of the people in that market come from my community, matter beyond my control. And it was assumed that I'm talking because probably they come from my community. Far from it. In that market, there are traders from all communities.
Yeah.
And when I bring these matters to light, many people have a problem with me. And the fact that I insist all the time that we honor pre-election pledges. There are things that we promise the people. We went there with Governor Sakaja and promised the people of that market that under our administration, their business can only flourish. It cannot become worse. We agreed that our administration will never oversee demolitions and evictions. Those traders were being evicted there about 10 years ago in a very brutal manner. And I talked about it. And many people are uncomfortable with that. And what I'm saying is that anybody who has a problem with my conduct, you go and report me to my employer. My employer are the people of Kenya. These are the people who employed me. Go to them and say, well, Dp Gachagua, Deputy President, is becoming a nuisance. He's complaining that you people are being harassed. We want to report him to you and ask him to shut up. And he shouldn't keep on bickering and saying that you people are being mistreated. That's what I was saying. Those are my employers. You go and report me to them.
You said that the people that trade in Wakulima market are not necessarily from one community. But then again, in some of those instances, you spoke in your mother tongue,
yes,
Kikuyu.
I did.
And some are using that to say that you're being a tribal leader.
I did. I spoke in my mother tongue. When I looked for votes for Governor Sakaja, I spoke in mother tongue. He didn't have a complaint. He was quite happy. He was all smiles. You see, some communication is not what you say, it's being understood. You talk to a people, to a language that they understand better. When I was looking for votes for President William Ruto, for Governor Sakaja, in meetings where the majority are people from my community, I spoke in my mother tongue. I don't know why people are having a problem now that elections have been won. When I speak to people in the language I used to speak to them when we were looking for votes. What was good then is still good today.
But that time you were not deputy president. Now you are a national office.
But that does not...
Just hold on. The president is a symbol of authority. I mean, a symbol of unity in the country. You are the deputy president, principal assistant. Maybe would be held to the same standard. Does it not bother your conscience?
Not at all, because the fact that I'm deputy president does not diminish my heritage and where I come from and my language. My language still remains intact. And some, let me tell you, communication is about being understood. It doesn't matter what language you speak. You speak the language that people understand.
Even if more than 40 communities of the Republic do not understand what you say.
But they were not in that meeting.
But they're hearing you.
But the people you are addressing, we were addressing specific issues in Wakulima market. Those issues are specific to those people. You talk to them the language that they understand most, so that you agree and you understand each other.
You've just told me that the Wakulima market is not just the Kikuyu community. There are other communities that trade there.
I spoke 70% in Swahili.
Yeah.
And 30% I spoke in Kikuyu because the majority asked me to speak in Kikuyu. We have some mothers there who don't understand Kiswahili properly. We have some old men who have lived there in that market who have not lived in that market for a long time. And they told me, our son, we want to hear what are you telling us? What assurance are you giving us? And when I went there, I talked to them in my mother tongue for them to vote for Governor Sakaja. It cannot be when they are crying, when they are complaining. I cannot talk the same language. But I talked to them when I was appealing to them to vote for him.
You said, wale wanaopanga hii upuzi wasiharibu hii Kenya. Hii Kenya imekuwa na matatizo mengi. Wakijaribu hiyo maneno, Wakenya hawatakubali. What is being organized? Nini inapangwa?
You know there are many schemes that are going on every day. You have seen meetings. You have seen meetings of trying to divide the people of Mount Kenya region. You have seen meetings of undermining the deputy president. You have seen people being called and being offered money to impeach the deputy president, to remove him from office, and all that nonsense that is going on. And I was saying, you see, some I'm elected by the people. And I asked the people directly whether they have a problem with my leadership. And they said they don't have. I drew my mandate directly from the people. And what I was saying, anybody who has a problem with my leadership, anybody who has a problem with my conduct, has every business to talk to my employer, the people of Kenya.
Okay.
Those are the people who make decisions over my conduct. Those are the people who can appraise my performance. Those are the people who can give an opinion as to what they think I'm doing, whether it's right or wrong.
Okay. You're saying that people have been offered money to remove you from office. How so?
It's a worst-kept secret in Kenya. I leave it at that.
No, but you're talking about it. How much money has been offered?
Well, it's neither here nor there.
No, it is.
I think let's go for more informative discussion.
No, we will get there, Deputy President. We just want to dispense with this because you're the one who is saying it, that people are being offered money. Indeed, that's a crime, isn't it?
Yes, of course it's a crime.
So who's offering the money?
You know.
No, I don't know.
You get to know.
I don't know, Deputy President.
You get to know. These things will come out as in the fullness of time. These are things that will come out in the public domain.
Why would they want you out?
I don't know.
What are they telling you?
They'll tell us. When they want to get us out, they'll tell us. They say that I'm high-headed. That I am too people-centered. That I'm listening to people too much. That I am asking people to listen to what Kenyans are saying. I don't think it's a crime. I think leadership is about the people. And for you to be a good leader, you need to listen to the people. And I keep on listening to the people myself. And I keep on asking leaders, my fellow leaders, to listen to the people. And I'll continue listening to the people. And that's what I was doing today. And I'm wiser this evening than I was in the morning when I left here. I have known many things. I am well informed. Because you must listen to your employer, because it's important that you listen to your employer.
You're saying that people who have a problem with you should consult the people. In what forum? I mean, where is that in the Constitution?
Consulting the people about leadership.
So that they can take action against you. I mean, where do you place that in the Constitution?
I'm talking about leadership. I'm saying before you take any decision on any issue, on matters governance, on matters leadership, it's important that you listen to what the people are saying all the time. And that's what I do myself. I don't, even the Constitution, 2010 Constitution, gives public participation as an integral part of our governance structure. That anything that affects the people drastically, you need to listen to them. You need to go to them. You have seen many things going to court and being thrown out for lack of adequate public participation. Public participation is part and parcel of our life in this country, and more so in matters leadership, in matters governance.
Deputy President, who told you there was a plan to impeach you?
I am a consumer of information. When you call people, and you may talk to many people and tell them what you want them to do, and you think that you are keeping a very big secret. We get to know these things when the meetings are going on, or immediately after the meeting. Meetings have been held in Nyahururu. We know what was being discussed. Meetings have been held in Kitusuru, in the house of a cabinet secretary. We know what was being discussed. We know the amount of money that exchanged hands.
How much
All
is
these things are in the public domain.
How much?
Never, don't worry. Are you interested in the money yourself? Don't worry about, I don't think anybody will offer any of that money, so you shouldn't be worried about the amount. But all these things that are happening, people know, and some. Now, let nobody underestimate the intelligence of the Kenyan people. The Kenyan people are very intelligent people, and they have come of age. And as I listen to people today, even when I was going to explain to them what is happening, they said, no, don't even bother. We know.
Deputy President, the interesting bit is that you're revealing information, but halfway. You've just now revealed there's a cabinet secretary who hosted a meeting in Kitisuru. Who hosted the other meetings? Who organized them?
Some have told you.
Deputy President, the interesting bit is that you're revealing information, but halfway. You've just now revealed there's a cabinet secretary who hosted a meeting in Kitisuru. Who hosted the other meetings? Who organized them?
Some have told you. You have seen the meetings yourself. I've just told you what was being discussed inside those meetings. I'm giving you info on what was going on. You are aware of the meetings.
The only meeting I know about is of the members of parliament that came out and said that their leader is now...
That was not the real issue. No, the real issue is what I'm telling you about.
In that meeting, it was discussed that they were going to be
the
impeached.
one that was held the whole night in Nyahururu. The whole night, that was what came out is not the real issue. The one of dividing the mountain into two, the one of looking for another leader, that was not the issue. The issue is how you can force our deputy president out of office. That was the issue. It was the real issue that was being discussed in that meeting. And people know, and they reported to us, many people, most of them were coerced into that meeting. They were intimidated in 15, were not even there. And most of them, the Honorable Mother Wangari, denied that she had not participated. The Honorable Munyoro, the MP for Kegumo, wrote a letter saying he was not part of it. There was a lot of coercion, there was a lot of intimidation, there was a lot of bribery.
Coercion from who?
Yeah, for those who have the capacity to coerce.
Who are those?
Pressurize.
You can describe them without naming.
You know them.
I don't know.
Well,
Deputy President.
you live, you get some, you are an adult. You have been around for a long time.
I can confirm I am,
Yes.
but I don't have that information.
No,
You do.
You'll find out with the time.
And as these conversations are going, because you're saying that there are people who are refusing that they were part of that meeting, there are those that accuse you that you bully people, that you don't listen to the people. In your own county, home county that is Nyeri, I think most of the members of parliament, if not all, have stepped away from you. Why is this?
I don't bully anybody. I'm just truthful. I ask members of parliament.
Let's unpack that. What does truthful
I just
mean?
ask the members of parliament to listen to the people, to listen to the ground. They call that bullying. It's not bullying. It's just being truthful. People don't want to be told the truth. We have a problem in this country. People want to live a lie. Those members of parliament from my county are very good people. But they had a lot of coercion and intimidation. But it doesn't, just being truthful. People don't want to be told the truth. We have a problem in this country. People want to live a lie. Those members of parliament from my county are very good people. But they had a lot of coercion and intimidation. But it doesn't really matter. What matters is that the Nyeri people, I was there the other day, are with me. 44 members of the county assembly are with me. The governor of Nyeri is with me. If the MPs want to be intimidated and be coerced to seem to fight me, that's up to them. They have a date with the people of Nyeri in the fullness of time. And I'm really not bothered by
There are
these things.
reports that, Mr. Deputy President, you're working with opponents of sitting members of parliament to decampaign them ahead of the 2027 election.
I am not working with any opponent of anybody. What happens, Sam, is that nature abhors vacuum. If I go to a meeting and a member of parliament doesn't turn up, another character who is interested in leadership turns up, you cannot chase him away. I am a people's person. Nature abhors vacuum. I have no candidate. I have no candidate. I have not looked for anybody to campaign anybody. What I cannot do, for sure, when I go around the country, I cannot stop Kenyans to accompany me to wherever I am going. If a member of parliament is there, he or she is given a chance to say hello. If he is not there and there is somebody else who wants to say hello, they are allowed to say hello. That's the way it goes.
Yet, some of them claim that you're forcing them to attend meetings.
I don't force anybody.
Case in point, the member of parliament for Nyeri Town once told me in studio that you had invited him to join you in a meeting, and he excused himself saying he was committed elsewhere, only for you to go and speak ill of him.
I have no capacity to force anybody to attend my meeting. Meetings are voluntary. My meetings are very well attended because I have a huge following. Any clever politician would attend my meeting. If he or she chooses not to attend, I have nothing to do with it, and I don't complain about it. All I say is that if you want to come, my office, as a matter of courtesy, informs every elected leader of my tours around the country. The decision whether to attend or not, or whether to attend or not to attend, is your decision as a leader, and I will not take offense for you not coming, because I have nothing to do with you. I heard somebody saying that I'm unhappy somebody has not come to accompany me to church. Sam, what you need in church is a priest, the choir, and the congregation, and the service is on. Whether a member of parliament is in church or not, that will never dilute the quality of the service. We go to church to listen to the sermon. to praise and worship. And if the church choir is present, the congregation is present, and in fact, the Bible says where 2 or 3 are gathered, that's where God is. That's all you need, 2 or 3. I don't think I have any issue with anybody attending my meeting or not attending. I am not bothered, really.
Okay. You're not bothered, you say. Yet, if, as you say, that there are plans to impeach you, if an impeachment motion makes its way to Parliament, you will need members of Parliament to make a case for you, because it is them that vote.
That is their decision, Sam. My position is very, very clear. I was elected by the people of Kenya. Okay, it is the people of Kenya who will confirm whether I'm working well or not. But if members of Parliament,
how will they decide?
If members of Parliament,
yeah,
are persuaded, intimidated, coerced to remove me from office, so be it. The matter is there. It's that simple. There are no issues. One, I have no capacity to coerce any member of Parliament. I have no capacity to intimidate any member of Parliament. I have no money to bribe any member of Parliament. If members of Parliament want to impeach Deputy President Dp Gachagua, so be it. If they have issues with him that are constitutional, that meets the threshold, and they want to go ahead and send him home for whatever crimes he has committed, there's nothing Dp Gachagua can do about it. That is their purview.
Yet, Deputy President, including the meeting that you're attending today in the city, some of the members of Parliament you're working with were saying that we have seen the dog, now we want to see the owner of the dog. What does that mean?
You can ask the ones who made those
It has been repeated in several meetings that you attend.
Well, I did not make those statements. Those are questions you can ask those who made
Are you
statements.
concerned that such kind of language is being used in your presence?
Well, all kinds of languages I've used in many meetings, including where I am personally abused. And that is what is happening. The country is in that mood of abuses, of tough talk, of campaigning, and there's nothing I can do. I have not studied it.
Does it bother you?
It bothers me a lot.
So what are you going to do about it?
Well, it's up to our boss to decide what should be done, because he is our party leader. He can call a PG and bring down the political temperatures, tell the members of Parliament to stop attacking each other, ask those who accompany him who abuse the Deputy President to stop, because if he told them to stop, they'll stop. Ask them to stop these night meetings. If he told them to stop, they'll stop.
By your boss, you mean the President?
Yeah. If he did, they'll stop. It's really him to provide leadership so that the country can go back to work. We have many challenges as a country. We have promises that we give to the people of Kenya. We have stored projects that needs to be completed. We have pending bills over 900 billion that we need to pay. We have housing program. We have health issues. We have issues of business. It is unfortunate that the country has been put in an election mood. People are just talking about politics, how they'll impeach so-and-so, how so-and-so is useless, others are calling us snakes. There are all sorts of things that are going on. It's really upon the President of the Republic of Kenya, who is also our party leader, to put his house in order.
What responsibility do you take for what's going on?
Well, I have no responsibility, because my team answers to what is going on, because we are also politicians, and if there is an onslaught against the Deputy President, he too has people who support him. If you abuse him in meetings, the team that supports him will also answer. That's what happens, because they cannot just keep quiet. So it's upon our boss, President William Ruto, to call his house to order.
Have you spoken to the President?
Yes, I've talked to the President several times.
And
I've asked him to call his house to order. Yeah, he's here to do it, and I trust he'll do it, because the atmosphere we are having, the environment we are having in the country is toxic. Kenyans are very unhappy about what is going on. How can people be meeting possibly at this time to discuss how to impeach a Deputy President when the country needs a lot of work to be done, when we have roads that have stalled for years, when we have people who cannot pay hospital bills, when we have challenges of water, when we have issues of a good business environment? How insensitive can we be to the Kenyan public that we can sit to discuss on how to dispose of a Deputy President who is in office, when there are very many issues of very great concern to the people of Kenya? I would rather, if it were possible, all of us to agree to go back to factory settings and be very fair to the people of Kenya. We were just elected 2 years ago. We have not delivered on the promises that we give the people of Kenya. Yet we are back there now saying so-and-so is bad, talking about 2027. Even some people had started talking about 2032. People are looking for running mates. People are saying Gachagua will not be this, so-and-so will be this, so-and-so can join with the so-and-so. I mean, it's very unfair to the people of Kenya. It's extremely insensitive. And I would rather, if it is possible, our boss, President William Ruto, to call his house to order.
Okay.
Because if he called his house to order very decisively, this house will get into order and people can go back to work and everybody can do his work. You know, everybody our work is well spread out. The president has his job to do. I have a job to assist him to deliver on the mandate. Members of parliament have work to do in terms of legislation and oversight. Governors have work to do in terms of running the counties. Everybody has work to do. Okay. We have just come from an election.
Right.
Kenyans are very irritated by what is going on. It's really not fair to the people of Kenya.
And Deputy President, you're saying you'd rather if it were possible. For how long have you been trying to speak to the president to put the house in order?
I don't want to go into the issue of discussing my boss, the president. But I have told you I've raised the matter with him. I would rather we leave it there. I believe in the fullness of time, he'll appraise himself on the situation that is in the country.
But you also expressed doubt when you say you'd rather if it were possible.
Yeah. I have asked him to put his house in order. So I believe he'll put his house in order because what is going on is not sustainable. It is not right. You know, it is very insulting to the people of Kenya, really, to get the country into the kind of toxic politics that is going on, the kind of insults on the altar that are going on, you know, the kind of disrespect to the deputy president who is elected by the people of Kenya, you know, in front of the president, in front of the churchgoers. What is going on is very, very unhealthy. It is not right, and it should come to an end.
Okay. And as you say that, so how is your relationship with the president?
My relationship with the president is okay. We have got a good working relationship.
What does that mean?
We work well.
But you're asking him to do something because your career is on the line here, and it's not happening.
My career is not on the line. By the way, Sam, those things don't bother me. I'm a very simple guy. I just came here the other day. For 57 years, I was there doing well. If today members of parliament and senate decided that I go home, my home is a few meters from here. My clothes here will not even fit in a pickup. I just take and leave. It's not that. It's about the people of Kenya. It's not about impeaching Rigathi Gachagua.
If your relationship...
It's what it will do to the country in terms of political stability. This is a deputy president who is elected by 7.2 billion Kenyans, who has a following of some one kind or another, and who have some people who believe in him. And we are having a country that is having challenges economically. We're having people feeling low, feeling down. And then you want to come and poison the political atmosphere. I don't think anybody wants to go into that direction. But if that's the direction whoever is raging wants to go, so be it. There's nothing I can do. The matter is beyond my purview. You know, let whoever wants to go ahead with it, go ahead with it. All we are doing ourselves is we'll inform the people of what is going on. And that I will do, by the way, because I have a responsibility also. You know, I'm elected. And going forward in the next few weeks, I'll be talking to my supporters and telling them what's going on, what is being planned, what is likely to happen, so that they are aware. You see, we are elected by the people. We have a responsibility to always inform your employer what is going on, so that they know, so that they are aware of what is going on, because people wonder what is going on. We have a responsibility as leaders to inform the people, because they are the ones who have given us this job. I was not given these jobs by the president. I was not given by members of parliament. The president nominated me and proposed me for confirmation by the people of Kenya. The people of Kenya, by a popular vote, confirmed President William Ruto's nominee, Rigathi Gachagua, as the right person for the job.
Right.
But the people who gave me this job are the people of Kenya. And therefore, if there are issues along the way, that I find disturbing, that I find that they can cause political instability in this country, that I find they can be intrusive, and they can disrupt our development agenda. They can disrupt our political stability as a country. I have a responsibility to go to the people who voted for me and explain to them exactly what is happening. And that I'll do. And I have started today, and I'll be doing that along the way, because I am answerable to some people. I cannot just sit here in Karen. Meetings are going on at night. People are being intimidated. People are being coerced, to disrupt, my term, to stop me from doing my work. And I just sit here. I cannot. I'll go to the people and say, good people, you gave me the job. Are you happy with what I've done so far? Yes or no?
Okay.
If you have a problem you want me to correct, but my people, this is what is being planned. And it is so and so who is planning it. So when you see it happen, please know this is what is going on.
Deputy President, I take note that you keep going back to that conversation about the meetings and the plans that are being made. Do you think the President knows about those meetings?
Well, I don't know whether he knows, but many people in those meetings quote him, but he's not there. So I have no confirmation.
How do you know they quote him?
No, it is reported to me. They say they invoke his name, that he is the one who has authorized those meetings. But since he's not in those meetings, I cannot accuse him. But the truth of the matter is, the way we work as UDA, as Kenya Kwanza, any motion of impeachment in the National Assembly to remove the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya will never find its way to the House unless the President approves. That's the way we work. Any contentious issue that comes to the National Assembly, the finance bill, this and that, the President will call a PG and say, this is our agenda, can you go and prosecute it? So, even as people are planning, if that motion will ever find itself to the House, it will have to get the approval of President William Ruto. So it will be his motion, because he'll have to approve it. So since we have not reached there, I don't want us to say anything about it.
Okay.
But that is the truth, because we have a way we work. That is a very heavy matter. It is not a matter that can be taken to the floor of the House unless the President has given a nod. And
on that specific matter of alleged impeachment, have you spoken to the President about it?
I spoke to him once, and he said he has not heard about it, and he doesn't know about it, and according to him, he said it's foolish. And nobody can try something like that because it can destabilize the country. That's what he told me in his own words. And thereafter, there was a meeting. He called members of parliament, and the matter stepped down. The matter has come up again. I have not asked him again. When I get an opportunity, when he comes back, I'll raise the matter again with him. I'll say, Mr. President, a meeting was held here, this was said. A meeting was held here, this was said. What do you have to say about it? Mr. President, do you want us to destabilize this country? Are you part of it? What they are saying, the President will pronounce himself on the matter. But I want to say that there is no motion of impeachment against the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya that can find itself on the floor of the House unless the President of the Republic of Kenya gives a nod.
Okay.
And again, even if it was to go there, nobody else has the capacity to push it through. It's only the President himself. There is nobody else who can. Getting 233 members of parliament, it's only him who can push it through. But that's another discussion for another day.
Don't you think that's a problem? Because the Constitution of Kenya has separation of powers between the executive, the judiciary, and the legislature. Are you admitting that parliament is controlled by the president?
What I'm saying in Matter Kenya Kwanza UDA, serious contentious decisions are agreed in a PG convened by the president. You saw the finance bill, he's the one who was driving it. So that tells you the way our PG works. Anything contentious, anything with serious national implications will have to get the nod of the president.
And I understand the political party democracy, but are you comfortable that a House business must get a nod from the president, including a clause on oversighting the deputy president, in this case, invoking Article 150 of the Constitution?
That is the reality of our Kenyan politics.
Do you see a problem there?
That is the reality, that all major decisions, all legislative agenda for our administration that needs to go to the National Assembly, the president normally does a lot of lobbying, sits with the members of parliament, takes them through, gives the points for or against, and asks them to support. That has been the practice. And it did not start with the President William Ruto. is as old as history, because every government has a legislative agenda. So the president will call his PG and whip his members into a certain direction.
You know, you sat in Parliament the last term. Would you have been okay for President Uhuru Kenyatta to control how you are going to make decisions in the House?
Well, in matters government agenda, it is right, because the party that is in power has a responsibility to ensure that the president and his administration succeeds. And they have a responsibility to support his legislative agenda. So it is important that once in a while, when there is important matters of government before the House, the president will convene a meeting and persuade his members why they need to support that legislative agenda, and he will whip them into action. There's nothing wrong with the president whipping his people in a certain direction.
So when is the last time you got instructions from the president?
On?
Executing your mandate in terms of assisting him?
No. I have clear duties given by the president in Executive Order number 1 of 2023.
Yep.
The president doesn't give me day-to-day instructions. I have many functions that I do, very many, by the way, and one of them is any other duties assigned by the president. That is the one now is on day-to-day.
So when is the last time you got such kind of an assignment?
I think I was in Nyeri, agricultural show last Friday to represent him. I was in Mombasa the other week to represent him in the agricultural show. Those are functions assigned to me by the president on a day-to-day basis.
Okay, all right. And that weekend, particularly on Sunday, you were expected at an AIPCA church event that the president was attending. Instead, we saw you at the Our Lady of Sorrows in Kirinyaga. Why didn't you show up for the other events?
No, I think people talk from ignorance. There were two functions.
Yes.
President was expected to attend one in Kirinyaga and one in Nyeri. Two functions. They were in his diary, and aligned my diary with the president's diary. And therefore, I was in Kirinyaga to receive him. When I was in Kirinyaga, I was informed that he had changed and he would attend a function in Nairobi. So I purposed to attend the one in Kirinyaga and join him in Nyeri later. But the function I attended was the Catholic Church. The Catholic Church Mass takes 2 hours and can never be interrupted. So I sat through the Mass. By the time the Mass was over, the president was already in Nyeri. Okay? So I could not leave the Mass halfway and go to Nyeri. So I decided now that the president is already in Nyeri. Even if I left Kirinyaga and tried to fly to Nyeri, I'll find he's leaving. So it will not make sense. So I decided to stay in Kirinyaga and represent him. By the way, he was the chief guest in Kirinyaga, and there was even a plaque. So I sat through, and even the presidential dais was there. I sat there through, you know. But I think some people, some mischievous people in Nyeri, who works around the president, put an empty chair, knowing very well I'm in another function, and took photographs just for mischief. You know what happens in the presidency. There's a lot of mischief around.
You say mischief, but that seat was next to the president.
Yeah. It was there, but everybody, my protocol people said I'm in Kirinyaga, so it was unnecessary to put a chair there that is empty when I'm not there. I was in Kirinyaga, and everybody knows I'm in Kirinyaga. So they should have removed the chair or get somebody else who have
Had you confirmed that you'd be in the Nyeri event?
Yeah.
Had you confirmed that you...
Yes, I had confirmed I'm in Nyeri.
So it is in order for them to put a chair there?
No, but we give information that we cannot make it. The minute the president arrived, before I left Kirinyaga, it was logistically not possible for me to go to Nyeri.
We have information that part of the reason why I didn't go to Nyeri is because you got intel that there are people who had been organized to heckle you.
No, your intel is wrong. Nyeri is my home. Even if there was anything in Nyeri, how can I not go to my home? Nobody, for the avoidance of doubt, can heckle me in Nyeri, in the Mount Kenya region. Nobody. I attend all functions.
Yep.
I attend all functions, and I don't need to organize anything.
Okay.
So that the intel you have is wrong, is mischief. I was in a function in Kirinyaga, and everybody saw me, your people were there throughout the Mass. So I don't know why people want to decide for me.
So who represented the message of the president at the Kirinyaga Mass?
In terms of?
The president's message.
In terms of what?
His contribution.
There was no Harambe. We did not go for Harambe.
What did the governor of Kirinyaga say?
She said the president has given us some money, which is okay. There's no problem.
Don't you think you should be the person to deliver such a message?
Well, that's the decision of the president. I cannot decide for the president what he wants to do with his money. That is his money. I have no right to ask the president to give me his money to take where he wants to take it. If the president was to send Anwar Igboho to a meeting where I am with his money and not send me, that is his decision, and we must respect it.
Does that show a good working relationship between the president and the
deputy? I don't know. I don't read much out of it.
You don't?
Because I was not going for Harambe. I had not talked to the president, so he did not send me. I just went for mass and I was there to receive him. But if he has decided to send somebody else with his money for a function in my presence, that's a decision the president makes.
Okay.
It used to happen all the time during the time of Uhuru Kenyatta. All the time that was happening, William Ruto as deputy president would be there. Somebody else would turn up with condolences and read when he's there. You know, I think these things.
And there was a problem that time.
If I don't know whether President William Ruto had a problem with it, I don't have a problem with it.
He made it clear that there was a problem.
If he had a problem with it,
you actually spoke about it yourself.
I don't have a problem with it myself.
You don't have a problem with it. Okay, but you've also been missing in several functions, including even receiving the president as he came back from Germany. You have always gone to the airport to receive him. This time around, we didn't see you. We saw the Interior Cabinet Secretary.
What has happened, Sam, is that I always align my diary with that of the president all the time. And as long as I am aware of his functions, I align accordingly. So sometimes, if I'm not aware, I'm not able to align because I also have my own program.
What does that mean? You were not aware he's coming back?
I was not aware of the time. Okay, so what has happened is that I think 2 days, I think about a week ago.
Okay.
I think about a week ago, we have a diary for the president, where I am there, my private secretary is there, my chief of staff is there, and all his issues are there. So we align. I think about a week ago we were removed from that diary, you know, so we are not able to follow exactly what is going on. So we are not able to align. But when we are informed of what is happening, like yesterday when I was I went to Lamu.
Yeah.
For the funeral of the deputy governor of Lamu. Yep. Who is a good friend of mine, and I am also in charge of intergovernmental relations, so matters devolution are my purview. When I was there, a letter came that I am needed at State House for the swearing in of the Inspector General of Police, but I was already in Lamu. Yeah. So it was not logistically possible for me to leave Lamu and attend. So when I'm aware of where the president is, at what time, I'm always there. If I am not aware, then there's nothing I can do about it.
All right, Mr. Deputy President, we'll be taking a short break, but you'll come back to that particular part that you're talking about. You no longer have the visibility of the diary, and of course you're watching the conversation with the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, that is Honorable Dp Gachagua. We'll be back shortly with this conversation on so many other issues, including the new look government and what the mandate of the Office of the Deputy President is and what he has been doing about it. Stay tuned. Thank you so much, Mashirima.
Extremely difficult for my office to align with the president's office.
Help Kenyans understand. So this diary, is it a physical book?
No, it's a WhatsApp group. It's a WhatsApp group.
WhatsApp group.
It's every day, you know, things now are good with this digital space. It's a WhatsApp group, and it's updated as you go on. And the president updates it sometimes himself, the controller does, and we all keep on aligning. So, you know, sometimes he'll have a program, he'll move it from this day to that day. I get into my diary and change mine and align with his. You understand?
So your team is no longer in that WhatsApp
No, I am myself. I was removed. My private secretary was removed. My chief of staff was removed. So we have no access to the president's diary.
Who removed you?
The private secretary to the president.
Who's that?
Yeah, he's called Mayo. I'll show you. I was looking for my phone. I wanted to show you. He removed me. So once we are not there, then we don't know what's going on. So let no Kenyan, and let those people in State House who are trying to say that I don't attend meetings, let them return me in the page so that I know what the president is doing, where he's going, what time, so that I'm able to align and give him support, as I've always been doing. But I cannot do it when I don't have access to that information.
Does the president know you're no longer in the WhatsApp group?
I don't know. I've not asked him.
You haven't?
No.
And it's been how long? You said a week?
I think it's about a week.
About a week?
About a week.
And you haven't spoken to him about it?
No, I've not spoken to him about it. To be truthful, initially I thought it's a little bit petty.
Okay.
But now that the matter has been raised, and I have seen Kenyans have been asking, and I have seen some mischievous bloggers in State House trying to insinuate that I'm absconding duty, I have decided to give this information to the people of Kenya in the spirit of the truthful man, a man who speaks the truth, so that the people of Kenya know exactly why I'm not in those functions. I think I owe Kenyans the truth. Because again, as I told you, Sam, I'm employed by the people of Kenya. They need to know why is the deputy president, whom they elected, not alongside the president in the functions. I think we owe that information to the people of Kenya.
And do you know why you would be removed?
I don't know. But I have told you, there are mischievous people around the president.
Why are they mischievous against you, deputy president?
Well, I don't know. How do you explain mischief? People have many motives. People have many motives. They are mischievous people trying to create a wedge between me and the president. And it's been going on for a while. And I take it in stride myself, because I'm also an elder, and I'm also an officer, who is well trained. I was trained in paramilitary. I have tremendous capacity for perseverance and endurance. I'm able to take a lot of flack, just quiet, and taking it in good tiding, because I am quite mature in my leadership, in my approach to life. And many, many petty things, I have ignored them, because I sometimes I don't want to become petty. So there are many characters around there. You remember, Sam, when the king was here in State House, the King Charles the Third. I think the president had sent me, I think, to Berlin or to Brussels, I'm not sure. I can't remember exactly to which country. And so when the king was in State House, I was missing. Okay? A blogger who works for the president created a Photoshop. And I know you can remember. Just for mischief and to demean me. Created a Photoshop that, the king is here, working with the president. Then there was a window there. And Dp Gachagua had been locked in that window. And he actually circulated on his blog until Kenyans complained, and he brought it down. Just to demean the deputy president. And these are people who work for the president. And you wonder why. How come you work for the president? You want to demean his deputy. And I told them, I raised it with them, the head of communication. I said, do you think you are demeaning the deputy president? You are not. You are demeaning the president. If there is a perception that the president has locked his deputy in a room somewhere so that the king does not see him, who looks bad in this situation? It's the president who looks bad. So there are many people around that have access to the president's diary. Unless the president himself has expressly given instructions that he doesn't want his deputy. I'd like to ask the people who work for the president to be honorable and decent people. Let the deputy president have access to the president's diary. Unless the president himself has expressly given instructions that he doesn't want his deputy to have access to his diary. If that is the case, I'll accept it.
Is it a possibility?
I don't think it's a possibility.
Okay.
I don't think President William Ruto would go that down. But if then I am not reinstated, now that I have brought it in the public and the president will know about it.
Yes.
If I'm not reinstated, then it follows. It is clear. And then the instructions
that
must
says
have
a
come
lot
from there.
about your relationship with the president. You just said that because you've raised it in the public, now the president will know about it. What happened to the two of you?
I don't know.
You were very happy on the day of inauguration. In the weeks before the election, you were very happy moving around
don't
the country.
know. Looking at it, I am not a mystical person. I am a Christian and a very true believer. But I think it looks like there's a jinx around this office of the Deputy President. And President William Ruto had a very rough time with the President Uhuru Kenyatta.
Right.
But luckily for him, he had 5 years to work, and work very well without any disturbance. President William Ruto gave a promise, a commitment to the people of Kenya. When he was complaining the way he was persecuted, he was mistreated, he was demeaned, he was harassed, he gave a commitment to the people of Kenya that under his watch, if they elect him as president, his deputy will never be demeaned, his deputy will never be harassed, his deputy will never be persecuted, his deputy will never be disrespected, and his deputy will be facilitated to work and work well. For the first year, that happened, and I'm grateful to him because he did not allow anybody to disrespect me. He did not allow anybody to interfere with my work. But the second year, I must tell you, that is happening. You know, cabinet ministers have been abusing the deputy president. Just the way it was happening during the time of Uhuru Kenyatta. You remember Tobiko called President William Ruto a clerk. Matiang'i wrote him a message that called him an idiot. And people disrespected him. People were intimidated. People were harassed. And President William Ruto made a commitment to the people of Kenya that if he is elected president, it will never happen that his deputy will be disrespected. Today, the deputy president is abused by people hugging on his car, and the president is quiet. Cabinet ministers have been abusing the deputy president. The president is quiet. The president has given many promises to the people of Kenya. Some of them he has not been able to fulfill them because of the difficult economic situations that we are in, and it's understandable. But there's one promise he gave to the people of Kenya that requires no finance. It requires nothing. It requires him to be a gentleman and keep that promise. The promise he gave the people of Kenya, that under his presidency, his deputy will not be abused, his deputy will not be disrespected, his deputy will not be intimidated, his deputy will not be persecuted, his deputy will not be harassed. That, I think, the president, my boss, owes that to the people of Kenya to honor that promise so that Kenyans can trust him and he can win the trust of the people of Kenya, because this is something within his purview. He requires no funding, he requires no financing, he requires no urging. It's a commitment he gave. And he also gave it to me,
right,
with my wife and my children. When he asked me to be his running mate, I sat with him and my wife and my children, and we asked him, we have seen what you have gone through. If our father becomes your deputy, will he be taken through what you are taken through? And he gave us as a family a very firm commitment that that will never happen. I'm asking President William Ruto, my boss, please keep your promise to the people of Kenya. Stop those people who are abusing your deputy. Stop those ministers who are demeaning your deputy. Don't allow the criminal justice system to harass and intimidate your deputy the way you are intimidated. If you cannot keep the other promises to the people of Kenya, at least this one is a very simple promise. Be a good man. Be a good Christian. Keep that promise, President William Ruto, because that is a commitment you gave to the people of Kenya, and you gave me that promise in front of my wife and children that you will never allow anybody to demean me, to disrespect me, to harass me, to persecute me, to intimidate me, to coerce me. That is a commitment that you gave. I ask you, Mr. President, keep that commitment.
Are you frustrated?
I'm not. I am, let me tell you some. You don't know me. Many people don't understand Dp Gachagua. Dp Gachagua is a seasoned leader who has seen many ups and downs. I underwent hell in the last administration to support President William Ruto. Cases were fabricated against me for studying with President William Ruto. My wealth was confiscated for studying with William Ruto. But I'm a very, very, very principled man. I stood with him to the last man. I never expected this to happen. You know, my family is devastated. that this can be happening to their father. A man who went out of his way to start with President William Ruto and make sure he's elected president and took the flag for it. And I say, even if there is a jinx around this position, at least President William Ruto was allowed to do his work for 5 years without interruption, without harassment, for 5 years. I've only done 1 year. And what is happening to me is worse than what happened to President William Ruto. I asked President William Ruto, please allow me to work. Allow me to work for the remaining 3 years. Let me serve the people of Kenya.
Okay.
Let me serve the people of Kenya and keep your promise. Keep your promise, Mr. President, so that you can win the trust of the people of Kenya as an honest person, as a person who keeps his promise. What is happening is not right. It doesn't augur well, and it has, to a great extent, eroded the trust of the people of Kenya in your leadership. Please, Mr. President, I am here willing to work, to serve you with the dedication, to serve the people of Kenya, to support you the way I've always done, to undertake whatever responsibilities that you assign me. But let the insults in your presence stop. Let people not hold night meetings. Let this money that is being used for these meetings assist us to pay pending bills, Mr. President. People are suffering. Resources are being mobilized to do politics, to divide the people of Mount Kenya region, to fight the deputy president. When Kenyans are suffering, when we are collecting taxes from people and we are saying we don't have enough, how come millions of shillings are being mobilized across the country to fight your deputy president, to undermine his work, to divide the people of Mount Kenya region for political purposes? I think this is the lowest moment of our administration, but I am hopeful that this can be corrected and all of us can go back to work and the people of Kenya can be given an opportunity to enjoy the fruits of their vote to the president and I.
Right, and I'm sure the president will get your message. Now, what was your role in the formation of the broad-based government?
My role was very simple, agreeing to the proposal by the president. President William Ruto sat me down and told me that he had made a decision that he needed to bring in other people so that we stabilize government and we bring everybody and we make everybody feel part of Kenya. And I was agreeable. And I told the president, if that is the intention, and to make our country move forward, improve the lives of our people, I'm agreeable. And I accepted 100%. And I support the broad-based government. I support the decision by the president. I embrace the people who joined us, and I am working well with them, and will continue working with them. What causes confusion is many people asking me, how is it that the president called for broad-based government to bring in everybody so that we have one cohesive country, so that everybody is part of it, yet people are planning to remove others? How does it work that we have brought in ODM people to come and join us? Yeah? And then we are saying now that we have brought these ones, now we have the numbers to chase this one. Then the whole thing would not have been very genuine. If that is the case, it doesn't look then genuine. Because I am told they are saying they didn't have the numbers to remove Dp Gachagua. Now that Raila Odinga has come on board, they can use his members of parliament to join and kick Dp Gachagua out. Then that would defeat the purpose of the broad-based government. But from what the president told me, and I believed him, is that we are bringing these people so that we have one country that is cohesive and we carry everybody along. And it made sense to me.
Do you still
and I'm still persuaded that is the way to go.
Okay.
But from what I am hearing from these characters for the meetings that they hold, and there are people very close to the president, is that the purpose of the broad-based government was to get numbers so that they can get the numbers from ODM, join the ones from Kenya Kwanza to chase Dp Gachagua away. If that was the intention of the broad-based government, then that would have been the deception of the highest order. And I don't think people would ever forgive the president if that was the intention.
Deputy President.
And I don't think, from what he has explained to me, and I'm persuaded that he meant well for the country, and I'm in support of the whole thing. But if it turns out that the purpose of the broad-based government was to get numbers from ODM to join and put them together with the UDA to impeach the deputy president, then the whole broad-based government would have been a deception. It would have been a con.
Have you seen the formal agreement between the president and Raila Odinga?
No, I trust the president. And many times, and many people accuse me of being a bit reckless. I am a very trusting person because when you are trusting, you trust others. The president